Hey everybody, it's Moonhorse here again. I'm here to read to you another story from the person who posted well, yes, it gave us, I should say, the story that we read last time. And I want to read a few things first. So we've been talking a little bit, and there is more to the story. That's why this is episode 2. But she also wanted me to point out that there is a... She's going to answer a few questions and a few things like that. But I wanted to read something specifically that they sent me. Well, she sent me while we were talking. And I'm quoting her in this message here. Let's see. Thank you so much for talking about the value of stories, the ones I've shared with you. I read the comments that you've received so far. All the support is incredibly touching. This is a beautiful community filled with people with big caring hearts, and I hope you're proud of each and every one of them. And I am. You guys, this was incredible. Reading your comments was really incredible. Thank you so much for being so supportive of her. I have no words, honestly. I have lots of words, but none of them will actually reach the magnitude necessary to mean anything. So I'm going to read their response. Now, granted, this probably isn't the response to every comment, but this is as many as she could get to while also continuing this story. So, pop filter was weirdly set to the side there. Don't know what happened. I guess I knocked into it at some point. Anyway, so we're going to continue to read. And here we go. To first address the questions, yes, the boyfriend was real. I spoke with him a few times when Mia stepped out of the room. It was just small talk, but he tended to be really passive-aggressive. Ooh. As for contacting parents, etc., and reporting the behavior, I didn't have the means to contact Mia's mother, or I'd like to. Then again, I wonder if any good would have come of that. I guess it would have been important to mention earlier that I'm not really good at asking for help. My parents would call every week, and I'd want so badly to tell them, but I'd choke. I tried to get out of the room to tell them, but I was just so paranoid. Even now, with the means by which I'm telling this story, I'm scared she might find me in her current circumstances, which I'll elaborate on later as I know them. Neither my parents nor Mary's know the full extent of what happened. This is to say, my parents know some things, enough that they understood and were more than supportive of me moving out. I also had the support of good friends who knew me better than the rumors allowed, and a family friend who lived in the area at the time. Mia could never touch them, no matter how hard she tried. As you might remember, Mary bought into many of the lies that Mia told her and started living with her. And that was another heartbreak. Mia knew that and apparently reveled in it. I opted to live on my own in the dorm when I finally got consent to move out. I went out more often to comic book stores, movie nights, and things were better. No matter how many friends I had, I wish Mary would talk to me so we could clear everything up because I really missed her. The second semester of Mary's and my first year rolled around, and we both signed up for the same classes. I saw her on the first day of class, and I felt my stomach drop. I sat diagonally from her, as there weren't many seats available, and almost cried of happiness when she smiled and waved at me. Our first class, we went to our favorite ice cream place, after our first class, went to our favorite ice cream place, and then the nearby library. She told me she had to be back by 4:30, or Mia would be mad at her. That it'd be worse if Mia knew that she was with me. I asked her if she was okay, and she said she was perfectly fine. I didn't believe that for a second, based on facial expressions. I wanted to be there for her in some way, but if Mary didn't tell me what was going on, I didn't know how I could help her. A friend of mine told me to be really explicitly express to Mary that if she ever needed to talk about anything in confidence, she could trust me with that information. I wanted to give Mary happiness and not upset her, but at the same time I wanted to help her, but she had to be the one to come to me. I followed my friend's advice. Mary would come to my dorm more regularly. At times, Mia came down, knocked on the door, and laughed about knowing where I lived now, and say she'd come for Mary. I would see Mary's face fall and she would leave. I was upset and angry and hated myself for moving out. I wish it was me again instead of her. A few of Mary's visits to my dorm were later at night, around 10 or 11, and Mia would never bother us. Mary had to tell Mia that she was seeing a guy, because she was at the time, and wouldn't be back until late for this to happen. She'd always apologize for ever believing what Mia said about me, that she should have known me better than that. It was during one of these visits that I found out what Mia had done to her. Important to mention is that Mary had a really bad, brain tumor and life-threatening surgery her senior year of high school. Oh my God. There were still stitches there on that were healing. Apparently, Mia had boasted to Mary about knowing all the pressure points on the body and pressing on Mary's stitches so that she nearly passed out from it. Oh my God. That's fucking horrible. Mary had thrown a knife at her when she was sitting near the door, and it landed close to... Oh, I guess Mia had done that. Wow, this girl's really fucking nuts. One of our friends snuck the knife away once Mary found out where it was hidden so that this would never happen again. Mia would make Mary sit with her during meal times while she'd talk about knowing how to get away with murder. Classy. Again, Mia would force Mary to buy her things, and there were some spoken and unspoken rules regarding how Mary's time should be spent. Mary came to me scared of what Mia would do, and it was much like myself. I suspect there's more to the story, but it wasn't anything I knew. I remember us sitting there holding each other's hands, and then she hugged me for a long time. She told me she wanted to stick it out until May. I told her, in my honest opinion, she needed to get out of that situation fast. I love her too much and didn't want her to get hurt like this. My family friend who lived in the area had come to know Mary and thought of her as an extension of, me. I brought Mary out to coffee with us, and the family friend gave her the mom look and told her how important it was that she get out of this situation. Mary resolved to, but didn't want to be alone, so we set up a meeting with her RA together. Since I lived with Mia before, it was best that I be the one to go with her, because I could attest to this being a pattern. We spoke with the RA, campus safety, and housing and accommodations, who finally came through. Someone from the office found a vacant room, and the three of us put together a plan to tentatively move Mary out that night a few floors down. I'll call the woman from housing Sandra. So here's the plan. We figured it was too risky to have Mary as my roommate, as Mia knew where I lived. Sandra and I hid down far enough in the hallway outside of the room. Mary made up a story about putting together an overnight bag for the guy she was seeing. As soon as she had gotten that, Sandra would let her into the new room, and I would grab a spare set of sheets, blankets, extra pillow from my room until Mary could get hers. But we weren't done yet. Mary knew parts of Mia's class schedule and when she was usually out of the room. Mary and I used all of the free time we had to clear out her stuff from that room. Mary and I did most of it by ourselves. I'm sorry, it just says by herself. Handed keys to me when she had to go to class, and I rushed them back to her for the class we had together. As soon as I opened the door, the smell hit me, and it was awful. I couldn't name it, but I had to hold my breath every time I walked into the room to keep from gagging or throwing up. When Mia found out Mary was gone, apparently her fuse was shorter than ever. Mia had to be taken inside and informed by campus police that she was not to go near Mary ever again, and that she could no longer have a roommate. Once again, she managed to keep both a single room and stay on campus despite everything until our junior year. Mary and I would spend most of our free time together by ourselves or with friends. We'd see Mia around sometimes with a few people and sometimes with one man in particular. There came a time when neither of us saw her anymore and we'd forgotten about her. Then we found out she had gotten pregnant and had to leave campus because of that. You may very well say that she got what was coming to her, but it's not that easy. To Mia's child, who will never see this, I cannot pretend to know how your mother treats you, but I hope for your sake that she's grown up and actually used her mind and heart for something other than manipulation and anger and God knows what else. I will never know you, but I know that you do not have to be jaded and cynical about the world. There are so many people on this earth who I'm sure do and will genuinely love and care for you. People can be rude, mean, and terrible, there will always be rays of sunlight. I hope that you'll grow into one of these rays of sunlight. One of the questions I will always ask when I'm upset is why people hurt other people. I don't think there is an answer, but sweetheart, I wish I had one. If we knew that, it would solve so many problems, but everyone's different. But I can tell you this, everyone can change, provided the space and consideration to do so if they try. Some people drift away, and it's for the best that they do, but others will hold fast. Not everyone out there is out there to hurt you. Not everyone is passive. Not everyone is oblivious. I don't know what kind of life you're living, but I hope you grow up strong, healthy, happy, and kind. To Mia, I don't have to tell you how much you put me through. You knew, and you enjoyed it. Honestly, I wouldn't be so upset with you if it had been just me, but you hurt people I love and care about. So, now that you're a cautionary tale, I want to give you what you'd likely hate most. For everything that you've ever done or said to me specifically, I forgive you. You could have been a better person if you wanted to, and I think that's the worst part of this whole ordeal. I will never forget what you've done to my friends, those I love. I forgive you because I'm stronger now, even after everything, and even because of everything. I forgive you because I was taught that living a life with hatred inside me is only going to lend itself to more hatred. Those who have taught me this have inspired me to live a life full of love, which is exactly what I'm doing now. I pity you because we could have been friends. I pity you because you wanted power over me more than you wanted that friendship. And that says more about you than anything. Oh, there's something at the end. Thank you for everything, Moonhorse. Oh, you're welcome. And for guiding me through this process the way you have been. You've taken your gifts, your voice, and your heart and given back in more ways than you'll ever know. Now you're just going to make me blush. I'm so grateful to no longer have this just sitting inside me. Honestly, I didn't realize how far I'd come until I said it, or rather typed it. You make yourself available to be reached out to, and I hope that you have many people in your life that you can reach out to as well. If I can ever do anything for you, by the way, thanks. Please don't hesitate. Much love and many hugs. Take care, do what you do best, and remind the world, to be kind. Well, that was really touching. That ending was really great. It might make me cry a little. Wow. Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys use guys' questions that answered, but I can tell you that she's right. There've been a lot of negative people in my life. There's been a lot of negative people in everybody's lives, and eventually you have to let it go. You have to let it out. You have to let that just be away. You know, you can't hold on to it forever. It's toxic and it's painful. For some of us, it involves, writing it all down. For some of us, it involves helping other people get their message out. For some of us, we don't need all that, but the most important thing is that you're able to get that toxicity out of you, and that, you feel good. You have a life, and everything is good. You guys, I usually at the end of a lot of these try to say something to relate, to whatever story, and kind of tell my own little anecdote and, that kind of thing. I'm still blown away by this story and by how unbelievably supportive you guys are. And I know it's YouTube, and there's a lot of my community's the best. No, fuck all that. I'm not saying, which community's the best or whatever. I'm genuinely, unbelievably fucking impressed with how amazing you guys are. Like, I mean, fuck all my views. I'm happy that you guys were there for somebody who really needed it. And that, holy shit, that means a lot. It's really amazing to see something this good come together, So, thank you, all of you, and I mean that. From the person who wrote these stories, to everybody who sent positivity, to everyone who was supportive, thank you. Words can't express how impressed and, I just said it. Words can't express it. I don't have the words. I'm not that smart of a guy. But I am deeply moved by this. That was fucking amazing, and I love you all. And well, fuck the whole YouTube outro thing. I just wanted to tell you guys that this is great. What you guys did was fucking great, and I love you. So, I'll see you in the next story. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.